Coming up on the next episode. Good morning, YouTube. Here with you at 11:13 now. On this Friday morning, I'm going to combine this kind of into a Friday flap about the, and I don't know how well you can see it, but I have up on top of the screen there, the name of this is the POG schematic so far. POG is it got so hard. I was typing back and forth with Bob this morning. We were comparing notes on this, and every time I would refer to this one, I would have to type out pictograph. Well, POG makes much more sense. So I have basically cut this down to the POG, not the PIG. Now, this is not a pig. This is a POG. So anyway, this is what I've been working on this morning. I wanted to, I told Bob I was going to go to the other end of the spectrum here on this end and start working back this way towards the IF transformers, which you can obviously see are missing here. And I did so, and I have compared notes again with Bob. I am using my reference as far as the other schematic that we look at is this one here. And I think if you look at it, see how I did that. Okay, I've got the whole thing in there. That's right. You can see this is where these connection points are going to be here. Pin 3 here and pin 4. And if we go back to the POG, you can see pin 3 is the plate, pin 4 is the screen grid. And those there, that's actually the tie point for that when I put it in there. I haven't actually put it in yet because it's not in there. That's why. And I'm trying to do this with what I have so far. And I have traced out every line on here. And this is good so far. Now there is one exception as far as how this one works compared to the AA5 schematic here. You can see this one goes from pin 5 through a 22K ohm resistor to pin 6, which goes to the oscillator coil here and eventually to ground. Now on the POG, it does not do that. It goes from pin 5 through a 22K to ground directly. And the pin 6 just goes over here to the tap on the oscillator coil, as shown. And so I was telling Bob about that. He said, well, he was looking at the Packard Bell schematic, and the Packard Bell shows it this way. So, obviously these manufacturers had different ways of doing things. Now, the main thing is we know this is going to work. It's not that big a difference because if you look at this, it's going to go directly to ground anyway. So it's not a big deal. So we're going to keep that in mind, but that's how this is wired. I don't see any problems with what we have here. I think it'll work out just the same. So the other end, or the loop itself, the antenna loop, does connect to the pin 8 of the 12SA7. Yes, 12SA7. And it also connects to the tuning capacitor. And there's a trimmer, and also it goes down here to the oscillator section. Now all this is correct also. This connects to the oscillator section of the trimmer capacitor across the oscillator coil, which makes perfect sense, and that works out. So that end is good. Now if we follow the other end of this, and I have traced this out again, I do know that it does this. So it comes back over here to the AVC capacitor, and I don't know the value of this. Now on the AA5 radio, that is a 0.05 here, and but there is a difference here because on this one it says 3 meg for the AVC resistor, and if we look at the POG, it's only a 2.2 meg. So there is a difference there. The other item that that has been traced out is pin 4 has been traced out to here, comes around here, and goes to the 1000 ohm resistor, which is off the power supply. That's where the power is derived for this. And again, this, when the IF coil is in here, it will go through the IF coil and up to pin 3 to power the plate. So that is correct as well. So now that's how much I've worked out today. It takes some time to work all this out because, for one thing, I didn't have a good light, and I'm doing this in the living room, and I've got the light of the window coming in and my little light above my chair, but there's just not enough light, so I had to go get some more light. And once I did that, there was a lot of things that became evident that I had missed or had re-looked at, or have not looked at right correctly, I guess is what I would say. So that's that. So that gives me pretty much the 12SA7 wiring for it, and that will make a very good starting point for this end. Now, obviously, the next one is the 12SK7 here in the middle, and again, the first IF transformer will be here, second IF transformer will be here, and I don't really have this one to complete as well, so I do have this side of the tube done, but this side is not, obviously. I think this is a pretty good start on this thing, and like I said, I'm getting close to being able to wire in the IF transformers. I think probably, maybe not the next step, but one of the next steps is going to be to take all these places that are showing unconnected wires here. These 2 points here are 2 right there that I'm talking about, and connect those. Here's another one down here, because we know now that they do go there, and I believe I'm going to connect the 2 capacitors. Actually, it's a single capacitor with 2 sections that are in the radio now. I'm not going to add a new one yet, and we're going to try it because basically these are brand new. These haven't been used. Not saying they're going to be good, but like I said, at the same time, I want to try them out with what's in the radio and go from there. Also on this, I know I keep thinking of things. I'm going to post up a picture. I will put it in here. I noticed this while I was looking at the chassis this morning at the bench. Somebody who had probably the original person that had this, was going to build this kit, had scribed into the chassis with some sort of sharp instrument the tube numbers. And I'll show you a picture of that. I'll put that in here. You can see that's what it says there very clearly, that that's what it is. And like I said, every one of them tubes have that scribed in there like that. And so that kind of made me feel good that I had guessed right on the tubes as far as doing it that way. But again, like I said, that's that was done by I'm assuming the original person who worked on this. That's cool. I think that is a real neat deal, and like I said, that's what I'm doing. So again, this project is progressing. I don't know when I'll get around. Bob keeps teasing me about I'm going to do the Packard Bell before I do this one, but I don't think so. I'm going to get to the point. I had almost considered taking these 2 tubes down here and putting them in and using the power supply and the variac to power these up and make sure this section was working down up to the speaker. Basically put a signal in here and make sure everything was working. Now I haven't done it yet, but I may do that eventually. Again, I would have to connect all the broken wires as far as that's concerned, but it could be done pretty easily, and just power these 2 tubes here, which would be 72 volts to power those 2 tubes, provide the necessary B plus for the I guess this wire here and this wire. Put whatever it takes right there, 110 volts, whatever it takes at that point to power these 2 tubes, and then basically, like I said, that would give you that would give me a good indication that I'm going in the right direction, I guess is what I'd say. This is one of the reasons I wanted this DC power supply, was to do stuff like this, to be able to power sections of radios up without having to go through the main power supply and the rectifier tube, things like that. And I just want to be able to do that to work on radios, and I think that's just a good thing to have, the ability to do that. So that's my goal there on that. So I think that's going to do me. I've talked long enough. Good afternoon, YouTube. Here at 3:47 on this same Friday afternoon. I made the first part of this this morning, and I went back through it, and I thought, well, it was long, but it was me repeating myself so much that I decided to go ahead and just add this to it and redo the first part of it, which I have done when you watch this, obviously. What we have done here is gone through, or I should say I've went through and basically I added in the IF cans, as you can see here, but they are not connected. And there's a place there that's open there, that's open here, here, and here. In other words, they're not really connected. They're just in place. We'll put it that way. And you can see where they will go. And this is the way I've got it figured. Now, I went over this with Bob, and he agrees with my assumptions and things like that. And if you look at the other, the AA5 part of this, you'll see that, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on this. I see zoom, there it is. This part here does not match mine, but Bob seemed to think it didn't matter because he's been kind of leaning towards the Packard Bell schematic for this set, and a Packard Bell doesn't have this resistor or capacitor. It ties directly to ground just like this does, just like the POG does. So. So that was kind of I was kind of worried about that. And also over here on this 12SQ7, I noticed the one on the other schematic has these separated, but this one's actually tied together. And I've looked at the tube socket, and they are physically tied together there with a wire. So he seemed to think that wouldn't make a difference anyway. Again, he said the Packard Bell is the same as that, so I don't know. I don't think I even looked at. I may have looked at that, but anyway, whether it is or not, like I said, he says it's okay, and so that's what we're going to go with. So basically, I've got it all. I did, finish. There was not really that much on here. You can see this just ties to ground, and those wires are going to the second IF transformer, and these wires coming in from the transformer, and the rest of it's just a matter of hooking up the filament. And so really wasn't much to the SK7, and that's fine with me. I mean, simple's good, especially when it comes to me, because I like simple. Again, this is pretty simple here. It just now this is obviously a repeat of this one. I don't know if they're internally the same, but I do know they do the same thing. So I've just put it this way, and that's the way I'm going to use it, unless I find out different. Again, the same thing over on this IF transformer. Nothing's connected. There's a space there, space there, space is here, space here. So you can see that it's not actually physically connected as far as the radio is concerned, because for one thing, they're not even in the set. They're just laying loose in the box in there. So, but the rest of it has been checked out, as I said. Now, my next step in doing this is going to be tying up all these loose ends here. In other words, if there's an incomplete part, I'm going to make sure they get soldered together there. These two here got to be soldered, and I think that will do that. Most of that part. Well, you got your filter caps; those have got to be soldered on. Again, I'm going to use the ones that came that are in there right now, just for the time being. Now, the only thing I've thought about changing is this one right here. It's currently not, there should be a space there because it's not connected either. But like I said, I thought about it, because if that was leaky at all, that puts some undue stress on the output tube, and we don't like that. I've watched enough Shango 066 videos to know he always changes this cap first and foremost, when he does a radio like this. So, but anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get everything tied together, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I've got to figure out which is the primary, which is the secondary on those IF cans. They are color-coded, I do believe, in other sets, so I may try to find another schematic that will show the color coding of those transformers, if anybody knows. And please, please, do comment on this video and let me know if you agree with this, my assessment of this. I should say our assessment, because Bob had a hand in it too. But like I said, it's just, this is what I've worked out with looking at the chassis itself and comparing it to the AA5, the other one that I had there, and you know, that's just, they look like this. This is basically how they look. So, and again, this part here is not on the other one, but again, that's not a big deal either. I don't know the values on these, and I probably won't mess with the values as long as they work. Until I have to replace one or something. If I do, I may at some time, again, if I have problems with the capacitors being leaky or something like that, and although they're new, you know, it still can be happening. I mean, as far as that, because they're old. But again, like I say, that's the way I'm doing it, and I think that's gonna pretty much do it, actually, for the POG pictograph radio, and I think that's the way it's gonna be wired up. Like I say, let me know what you think about it, and if you have any suggestions, comments, criticisms, concerns, as Erico says, be sure to let me know, because I want to get this right. I don't want to have to tear it apart again and, you know, have to do any more work to it. But again, like I say, this is how I see it, and Bob agrees. So anytime Bob agrees, I'm happy. You all know Bob. So anyway, that's that. Like I say, I still plan. Alexi's already came and gone. I guess she got off work early today because she got here before 3 o'clock. But or a little after 3 maybe. I think she gets off 3:30 normally. But anyway, she was talking to her friend and has gone on a nail appointment. There goes in that fingernail polish again. She has a big weekend planned. She has parties to go to and a graduation for her friend. I think he's graduating pharmacist school, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, he is graduating, I believe, and so she's going to go for that. And so, like I said, I won't see much out of her probably this weekend, but I probably will go out in the car. I'm going to go sometime in here before it gets dark and get the camera installed and do a couple other things out in the car that I wanted to do and get that all done. But I wanted to add this bit to it and let everybody know that this is what's happening. And what's happening? You guys may remember that show. But anyway, like I said, that's what's going on, and I hope you guys agree here that this is the best course of action, and I think that's it. Good evening, YouTube. Here with you on the road. 9:15 is the time. I actually have been driving around quite a while, thinking that the camera was working. Just now figured out it's not. So at least it's good and dark now, so you get an idea of what this thing looks like at night. Not gonna make a long one. I did a lot of flapping about frequency counter and some other stuff, and the traffic and the construction here in town, and I'm not gonna go over that again. Really nothing that interesting, but you know, it was what it was. So we'll get a glimpse of the strip down through here at night. Mickey D's, you can see that, Wendy's. And we'll go up to the, I believe, CVS and turn left there and head back home. Like I say, not going to be a very long one. Just something to add on to the flapping I did earlier today on the POG. I've been working on my head unit, trying to get some stuff done. It finally did what it was supposed to do. Happy about that. Okay, this will give us an idea of what it looks like on a back street. When you hit a bump, that's what that feels like. I can't believe I drove all that time with the camera off. I remember when I was out in the car hooking it up and everything, I had it unhooked from the USB ports and the cigarette lighter thing where I put that in. And I thought, well, I gotta remember to hook that back up. Then when Lexi moved her car, I just totally forgot about it. I had a good flap going. I really did. You had enough flapping. That's all you need. Don't need any more. Got a little flapping about the POG or PO. Is it POG? Yeah, pictograph. Earlier, and that was good enough. And like I said, really wasn't much to say about the frequency counter. I've got to try some different things on it to get it to work. I'm a little disappointed, but other than that, you know, it is what it is. I saw Don mention my tool that I sent him, which was good. And She did a heck of a bang up job there parking. That girl, I don't know how she survives. Alright, I'm going to end it here. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya!